What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to break down this trade I made on TQQ. It was very aggressive. I knew I had to be very quick in and out, but I just want to break down how I decided to trade this. And when you look at this, it's like, how did I make money on this? I was very patient today. I've been sitting on a lot of cash, and what I use is RSI, MACD, and then volume to make my decision. So when I was watching this at the open, I have two charts up. The first chart is today, the 1 minute chart, and then today, the 5 minute chart. When I trade, I like to specifically, let me just get this out of the way, just so you don't just see that. There we go. I like to specifically match up my 1 minute and my 5 minute when I make a trade. So upon making this trade, I'm watching it sell off on the 1 minute, and I'm strategically watching the RSI. When I watch the RSI, I want specifically under 25 on both my 1 minute and my 5 minute before I even think about taking a trade. So, and that's not even the only deciding factor. So when I was watching this sell off here, it was a massive sell off from 30.4 all the way down. Even here, I started to think about taking a trade, but it didn't line up, and I'll explain why. So if you look right here and the time you can see up here, you'll see the time is 10:20. The RSI was right here at 26, which is close to where I wanted. But when I go to my 5 minute at 10:26 on my 5 minute, let's click on this so we can see it better. Here's the time. At 10:26, you have this little green candle filling, which is all these reds. And my RSI is actually at, let's look right here, 19. So this is, I'm sorry, not 19. It is, yes, 17. My RSI on the 5 minute is 17. But why did I still not buy here at $28? Let's just draw a indicator so you can see here. I didn't buy at this level at 28.70 for a reason. The reason I didn't draw here was because I lined up my RSI. My RSI was less than 25. My RSI on my 1 minute was, and my RSI on my 5 minute was as well. But I still have my third confirmation, which is MACD. Now I only use MACD on my 5 minute, and I have a video that you can refer to under the Fidelity Active Trader Pro, which is what I use, that explains how I use MACD, and I'll make another video based on it, but I just want to break down this trade. So then with the MACD, right here at this level, you can see the little cursor, little circle on this little green dot. It was still trending down. It was not showing what I wanted. I wanted to see this before I make a trade. Once I see this zone where it's flattening out, that and my RSI is less than, it's really 25 for me for 1 and 5 minute. This was an extreme example at 12. You could see the RSI right here, and the RSI was 12 here. And then over here at this drop here, you could see the RSI was, about 23. What's the big indicator for me to do a dip buy opportunity is I need my 1 minute RSI below 25, my 5 minute RSI below 25. In this case, the 5 was at 12 or 13, which is way oversold. But my MACD, if it's trailing down like this, it's showing that it's still selling off. And as you can see, you can line this big red candle right here. It's still selling off. Once it plateaued and it wasn't as steep, this is when I made my buy. So I bought a little early technically, but I bought at $28. I bought at 28 flat. I was off by, if you look at the low here, 27.73. And I wasn't going to take a loss on this because it sold off from 30.4. The RSI is 12 on each spot. And just zooming in so you can see more now. The RSI here was 10 on the 5 minute with the MACD plateauing now because it had that steep decline, started plateauing, and then I said, you know what, this is the time to buy in. And that's when I started scalping and buying massive shares and then just trying to get 10 cents at a time because you don't know, it's triple leverage and it's really following QQQ. So it was a nice trade. I did very good on it. I made almost $800 today. And you have to be very careful with these dip trades because it can keep going lower. I wasn't willing to follow a stop loss on this because my RSI was below 12. It was like 10 on the 5 minute. And then down here, which you can see the RSI right here, it was down to 17 on the 1 minute, 10 on the 5 minute. And my MACD was plateauing, which means buyers are coming in. And my confirmation was this green candle, the first 5 minute green candle to make a new high. So if you look here, you can see here, right at this part, the high of it was 27.97 and the high of this was 28.02. It ended, it blasted through the 27.97. Right there I knew I was okay with my cost basis at 28. Took some profits at 28.1 and then started scalping this region right here from 28.1 all the way up to 28.27. And then I got busy and I just wasn't able to trade after that. But it was really, once I made the money, the $800, I was happy with it. You know, I try not to overtrade. I try to get one good trade in. And where's my entry on the dip? If I'm playing a dip, I want my dip to be so good that I can continue to scalp it, but not take a long position and just start bag holding from there. So that's how I do my dip trades. If they don't hit the criteria, if the 1 minute and the 5 minute RSI don't match up and the MACD doesn't start plateauing like this region right here, and you can line it up right here, you can see it. And I'll zoom in so you can get a better view. And I use the 5 minute on the MACD. And you can see specifically, let me just move this over a little bit, these two, the red candle and the green candle, the MACD starts plateauing. It's going flat, which means the buyers are coming in. And then the green is going to start crossing over the signal line, which is the red line, and that's where your action starts. And the market was very weak today. So you obviously have to be careful. But that's what I've been watching. And another indicator another symbol, which is QQQ is what I watch. I always like to look at QQQ a month or 3 months out. And I try to see like where could potential support be before I even just start buying, because you want to have an idea of where this could be. And I'm eventually going to take a swing position in QQQ, but I'm still waiting I want to see if it's going to break this level. And as you can see, it kind of bounced right off of here at 299, because you can see that red candle, that wick right there that didn't fill. It just popped right back up. But we still have selling pressure. We have to be careful. And I'm just trying to watch the 293 level, because I want to see, is it going to break this 297 level? If it breaks that 297 level, it almost feels as if our next support level really is like 276. So there's definitely plenty of room for this, index, the NASDAQ to drop. But right now it's still too early to tell. I mean, your 200 EMA is 327. My orange is the 20 EMA. And then my red is the 9 EMA. But it is very weak. It is very weak. And I like playing TQQ at these prices because it's so cheap that I can buy a lot of shares. And then I'm able to just get 10 cents and make big money on it. At least in my eyes, it's big money. Some people, they make much more money day trading. But this is what works for me. I'm definitely a dip buyer by heart. I like scalping with large share size and just going for 5-10 cents once I find the region that it's consolidating in. And I try to stay in there for an active 5 to 10 minutes. And then I try to see where it plays out from there. But that's what I saw. I noticed that it worked out for me, and it's a good trade. The next thing I wanted to show you was SQQQ. And I didn't trade SQQ today. And you look at this chart and you say, why didn't you just trade this? Something I've noticed is that this pink line right here, this dotted pink line, is VWAP, which was added to Fidelity Active Trader Pro, which has definitely been a very good indicator for me to actually finally trade the bullish side. I traded the weaker side today with TQQQ. But with SQQQ, when something's bullish and it's trading above that 1 day 200 EMA, confirmation for me is as long as it maintains above VWAP, you can keep going long on it and you take your loss at VWAP. But as you can see, SQQQ never broke VWAP. It held the pink line the entire day, which is hard to trade in the moment. But if you can actually just look out and just not focus on the micro, what's happening, and look at the bigger picture that VWAP is holding, and the stock is trading above VWAP, you can almost just use VWAP as your stop loss, especially when it comes to like the NASDAQ or playing SPY, because it's a good indicator to say, hey, it's holding VWAP, it's above it, I can maintain bullish on this, that's my stop loss, to be careful. And even when right here it broke through the 200 EMA, it bounced at the VWAP. So it still offers, you can still scalp it at these areas. So it's definitely good scalping opportunities because you see here, it broke through the 200 EMA, sold right through here. But then look right here, your RSI was 25 on the 1 minute. And right at VWAP, it broke through a little bit, but not much, by 20 cents and popped right back up and then held VWAP again. And now it's just been on the border. So I just wanted to break down my trade. I hope it helps. That's something I look for big time. I match up the 1 minute RSI, the 5 minute RSI, and then my MACD is my final indicator to say, hey, I'm going to take this trade now. So I hope it helps. If you learned something, please subscribe. And definitely leave something in the comments how you buy the dip, because I'm always trying to learn, and this is what I've learned so far, and it's been working so far. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say.